We were born to sob and to howl, to shudder and shriek, to jump up, crack up, scream our lungs out, and be left speechless. This is the good stuff in life, and the all-new Contour from Cox helps us get right to it. Just say what you want, and your TV finds it. Speak, find, feel, and get right to the good stuff. Available to residential customers in select Cox service areas. Advertised features available with Cox Contour 2 digital receiver. Professional installation required. Other conditions apply.
Goldilocks Productions presents the Living in Partnership with Spirit show with Ingrid Turner. Ingrid is a spiritual medium, a spiritual coach, and diviner. She connects with loved ones, spirit guides, spiritual energies, and the higher self to help her clients heal, connect with their authentic spiritual path, and live in their power. This 1-hour show will give listeners the opportunity to call in and ask a question from Spirit, get spiritual guidance, or to ask questions of the special guest. Call in now to reserve your spot on the switchboard. The call-in number for this show is 657-383-1895. Enjoy this healing and powerful show.
Hi, welcome to the Living in Partnership with Spirit show. I'm Ingrid Turner, your host. I am so happy to be here sharing not only my work with you, but the work of many healers, intuitives, spiritual leaders, and teachers I get the honor to have on this show. And of course, wisdom directly from Source, Divine Spirit. So I work with people as a spiritual medium. That means that I connect with Spirit on your behalf and relay messages for you. So I give private readings, and I also work with individuals and groups on an ongoing basis to help you connect directly with that divine source. Through that connection, help you develop your own spiritual structure. So you can learn more about me and what I do on my website at www.ingridhturner.com. That's INGRIDHTURNER.com. You can also connect with me through my Facebook group. It's called Living in Partnership with Spirit, so it's the same name as this show. You just plug that into Facebook search and it'll pop right up. I like to start each show with a definition of sorts to living in partnership with Spirit. And I can tell you, for me, living in partnership with Spirit means to commune with the divine, live from a place of your feeling and your intuition, and living with less anxiety and more certainty about your direction in each step you're going to go. Ultimately, for me, living in partnership with Spirit means living in your highest purpose in this body on this planet. So what this show does is explore the different themes, different topics, and paths to living and working in partnership with Spirit. We'll delve into the many ways by which human beings communicate, experience, and work with Spirit in their daily lives. Show guests and myself talk about our experiences, our spiritual work, and answer your questions. So each week, we explore a different topic related to our overall theme of partnership with Spirit. You are welcome and encouraged to please call in with your questions for myself or for today's guest. We won't be doing readings on air during today's interview, but if you have a burning question, please do stay on the line because I'm setting aside the last 20 minutes of our show for readings, so stay tuned. So the number for the show is 657-383-1895, and you'll press 1 to get on the show. This week, we have Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman joining us, which is spectacularly awesome because she's the woman who facilitates this show and many, many more under her Goldilocks Productions company. So in addition to her broadcast and her business savvy, Tiffany is a multidimensional healer, an ascension guide, an ordained spiritual interdenominational minister, divine channel, psychic medium, and holistic health practitioner. Wow. So she's putting all of this together and helping the world connect with healers and intuitives through the internet airwaves. So I've said enough about Tiffany. I want to bring her on our show so she can tell us more. So Tiffany, welcome.
Hello, Ingrid. Thank you for having me on the front lines of your show.
Yay! No, I'm happy I get to talk to you. Well, you're so welcome. Thank you for coming on. So before we dive into our content, can you tell people how we can contact you?
Oh, sorry about that, some dogs. Yes, you can contact through my website. That's the best way to contact me. My website is whitesagewoman.com. I'm saying sage, S-A-G-E. So whitesagewoman.com is the best way to contact me.
Great. Okay, great. I had a thought, and then it went away. I don't know what it was. Oh, I know what it was. You know what I love about you, Tiffany, is you're always laughing. Everything that comes out with a laugh. I think that's just the most beautiful thing. So just real quick, a reminder to our live listeners, if you would like to call in and ask Tiffany a question about her work during this interview, we welcome that, but we're not doing readings during the interview. But stay on the line, because the last 20 minutes of the show, we're going to set that aside for readings on air. So the number, once again, is 657-383-1895, and you press 1 to get on the show. Okay, Tiffany. Let's start. I want to start with a little bit more about you. Who are you? Where did you come from? What are you doing here? Give us a cliff note, sort of a little brief history of Tiffany, so we can get to know you a little bit.
Well, I'm still asking those questions. No, okay. Don't we do that daily? Just when you think you know who you are. I know, right?
Yeah, right.
We all have that. Just when you think you know who you are, something happens and you're like, what? It just questions you. It's like, whatever. Anyway, like everyone else, really, we all, even though we may not remember, we actually really do. Our subconscious, our soul knows who we are when we're born into this world. It's just our consciousness. It's kind of like, if you want to compare it to computers, our hard drives were wiped.
Yeah.
But the soul is like that backup. It's there and it has all that information, and the hard drive just needs to connect with the backup, the external backup. And that's our challenge, I think, for all of us, really. And how we do that is truly by going within, and it's not a cliche. It's absolutely the path that has to be taken for us to awaken and for us to know who we are. Every day I learn more about myself and about just oneness in general, I should say. You can understand this. Spirit just continues to amaze us on a daily basis. We just when you think, oh wow, this is great, this is amazing, and then something else happens, it just blows you away, and it's like, yes, wow. But how I guess we have to go back to childhood. I was a very open child as far as very aware of my gifts and my abilities, and I didn't have a problem telling everybody that, but that bothered my mom, who my mom and dad, biological dad, was separated and divorced when I was 4.5. Well, they were separated. They had a long separation, and but it was devastating to my mother. I watched her, and I'm going to say this, and it may blow people's minds, but I watched her activate cancer within her. I watched the process. I saw the blackness, the sadness, the illness, the dis-ease outside of her, following her, and it was attached in her aura. And I knew it wasn't an entity because I knew the difference between that at a young age. And so it was like a roller coaster ride. During this separation time, somehow we would take trips together, though, with my biological dad, and my younger brother was born. So they were trying to make things work, but it just couldn't. And I do believe by the time I was
Right.
7, they were legally divorced. So it just was watching her. It was really amazing is that I still have some of my schoolwork that my mom kept, and maybe she kept it as something spiritual for her, or as a reminder for her. She kept it in her journals. But there was a school paper that I wrote in elementary school, and about how there was this darkness all around my mom, and she was sad, and I just want to make her happy. And this was what I talked about in one of my school papers. And I was like, well, I'm a healer. I just want to help heal everyone and make everyone feel better. But when you say that as a child, how it was translated was my teachers thought I wanted to be a nurse. Oh, you want to be a nurse or you want to be a doctor or cute. But I was like, what? As kids were trying to understand all the labels and the definitions and the classifications, it is like, okay,
right.
whatever. And then when you learn it, it's like, no, that's not what I'm talking about. But I did find that I would try to make my mom laugh, because when I noticed that when she was having a good time and when she laughed, that darkness shrunk. And I was getting really hopeful that, okay, maybe she's going to get rid of it. But then then she went into the really dark depression time, and I saw it still be in her aura, but now it went into her physical body. It entered her physical body. Now, it took several years. It took about 2-3 years, and then finally she was diagnosed with breast cancer, which is not uncommon. Most women who's had their hearts broken, so to speak, guess what? Guess where it manifests.
Wow. Really? Well, that's not surprising.
Right there, because women have such huge hearts, and we really take it in, and it can affect the breast. It's the closest thing to the heart chakra. Think about that, right? So when she was diagnosed with that, it wasn't a surprise. But at this point, when she got the diagnosis, now she had been dating a man, and they got married. So it was. And then he stood by her through everything, and I call him my bonus dad, because he was just,
wow.
Yeah. Because he raised me through my teenage years and put up with all that. But I did grow up in a very
the fun period.
Yeah. I did grow up in. My mom was very strict Christian. But interestingly, my bonus dad was spiritual, and we would have great conversations. And he was like, I'm only going to church for your mom. He goes, when you love someone, you do these things. Let's have an open mind.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to go to church. And he was like, he goes, I know you're not getting the discussions. You're not getting what you need from church. And he goes, so we'll talk. And he goes, but I don't get it either. And he goes, but we do this because we love someone. And he goes, so all I'm asking you to do is just go to church for your mom. And I was like, okay, that lasted for a little bit till, we get to the teenage years. I was like, I'm just not going.
Right.
I'm not doing it anymore. But so she didn't want to hear. My mom did not want to hear me talk about what spirit I saw, about anything like that. She didn't mind me talking about the angels, because I always stayed connected with the angelic realm. And it was okay if I talked about these lightnings. But as soon as I said, oh, look, Grandma's here, it wigged her out when her own mother was supposed to speak. Stop!
Right, too much. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Wow. You know what is really interesting, what struck me about that story about your mom, and watching her, develop cancer because of all the pain that she was going through and, what she was hanging on to. But then at the same time, she magnetized your stepfather into her life, which was a total support for her. So I think that I feel like there's value in that message where, it's not all black and white, what we're manifesting, what we're creating. No. And that can take some of the fear out of that our thoughts create our reality, where every time we have a negative thought, we're like, oh my God, I'm giving myself cancer. Like, well, there's more to it. It's more broad than that. And you can be doing just as much good for yourself too.
Oh, absolutely. She believed in quiet time. She prayed. Unbelievable. And I know that the power of prayer is unbelievable. We know that because it really helps with intention. It's just until we learn that we have a direct connection, we don't need to go through anyone or anything like a minister or somebody else. You could actually, have that connection yourself. So she absolutely, and I do believe that we go through these things too. They're valuable lessons and tools for us. And we all have that potential. And it's not to scare anyone. We live in a toxic environment. We all have the potential to activate disease within our body. We've seen it happen all around. But that doesn't mean that it's the final thing. And there's always beautiful balances, like you said. Everything comes together. This is bad happened. Well, what good has happened? Because they come together. Because it's part of the whole.
Yep. That cosmic balancing act that is always going on, and everything's perfectly balanced, and it shifts here and there, but in the end, it all balances out.
And I have to tell you, I don't know where would I be now, because my mom was always my driving force and focus for healing. She propelled me to be who I am today because of, this isn't right. And she went through cancer 3 separate times and 3 different kinds. I was banned from going to the doctors with her. So because I was quite confrontational with the doctor, just because, she told him, hey, this procedure hurt me. And he pretty much said, suck it up, sunshine. And I'm like, that's my mom. What the heck did you just say? And I was like, remember the vow you took to be that oath you took to be a doctor? Harm none? What the heck is that? Yeah. So then my mom was like, she couldn't deal with confrontation and argument. And even though she, all that was, that was nice that you said, but, you have to be respectful of your elders. I was like, but he's an idiot. I'm like, but that elder is an idiot. Yes, one of those. I was very much so. It did, you didn't let me until you really crossed the line, and of harming somebody, and that's mentally and physically too, not just physically but mentally. And during that time, she just had to go through so much. She was a Christian author too. She did write a book, Life After Divorce. It's on my media page. If you on my website, you go on my media page and scroll down. My mom was the writer. She was always writing, and I was the talker. I know that's hard to believe. I was the talker. She was the writer.
Really?
And and so just the last several years, the articles that I have written and submitted to certain spiritual magazines, and they're on the media page. My mother was right beside me, and she was like, come on, I'll help you. I helped her with the writing, with grammar. Here, read this. Does this sound right? That's where I learned how to edit. But it was just the thought of sitting down and writing. And so she has helped me a lot with writing and journaling and just be comfortable with it. And she was always writing for newspapers, Christian magazines, and then the book she wrote, Life After Divorce. And I was like, well, I would really had wanted her to write a book about her experience with cancer. But then I was thinking about that, and my guide said, but she did. For those that can understand, she wrote about how the beginning stages of it. If they're paying
attention. I got chills. Wow.
And I was like, oh, wow, yes, I get it. That is amazing. And so but I mean, it just, everything happens for a reason, and she's so much stronger and healthier, and she's my biggest fan in spirit. And maybe that's what I'm going to say, because I didn't want to do psychic medium readings, because I used to, believe it or not, I had astigmatism against psychics. The term psychic terrified me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know what to call this gift, other than I just like to say just healing. So just wanted to pursue the healing. And it wasn't until about 12 years ago when we moved to Connecticut, and a lot of spiritually open and aware people here. And as far as instead of we came from the South, the deep South, where that was the Bible Belt.
Oh, really? Oh.
So I couldn't say anything. I was we had lived in Georgia, South Georgia. So I kept my mouth shut when I was down there. My husband was in the Navy when he was active duty, so we moved around quite a bit. So it was like there wasn't a support group, there wasn't people I could talk to. I just had to be quiet. But coming to Connecticut, then I could connect with other, like-hearted people, those who, and I was actually at a spiritualist church, and I had a medium tell me, she brought Mom in for the first time. And I want to tell you, don't be upset if it took 15 years for me to communicate with my mom after she had crossed over. And there's lots of reasons for that, and I understand. I delayed grieving, and I didn't, and so that delays it too. When you delay the grieving process, that delays. All right. I also know that she did go through some healing, some cocooning to heal, but she's back and very strong when she communicates now. But I about fell out of my chair when the medium told me, your mother's here, and she knows, she always told you to be quiet, and now she wants you to sing like a bird. And I was like, what?
Wow.
She's like,
God, that's so great. I got chills all through my body. That's just the coolest thing ever.
I know. She wants you to give readings. She wants you to let yourself be called psychic medium. And I'm like, what? Yeah, of course. And I really had to sit with that. I really had to let that soak in. You know how we hear, and it was like, okay, well, all right. And part of all of this is surrendering and trusting. And that I was ready. You get to the point of life where I'm surrendering. Let's go. Let's do this. I know that I'm here, and each of us are here. We have a mission. It's more than just to get up and do the same thing every day. We really are. We really are making a difference. Exactly, in everyone's life, and we just have to take ourselves out of the focus every day, quite honestly, because when we are so busy paying attention constantly to how do I feel, about this, and how am I reacting to everything, you are missing out on the rest of the world beyond your eyelashes.
There's a letting go. Sorry.
No, you're right. Yeah, go ahead. No.
There's this letting go. When this letting go takes place, that not focusing, I feel like when you're talking about that focus on yourself, what comes over my body is this tension and this sort of focused tension. Like when you're really focusing on something and your shoulders are all hunched and your eyes are squinted, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden you realize how tense your body is, and you go, oh, geez, and relax. Like, okay, this is easier if I relax. It's the same thing when you're living your life. You got this focused, all this tension. And if you can just let go and let be, especially let other people be, that's when, for me, that's when the flow takes over again. It's like, oh, okay, it's all good. I get to be what I be, and you get to be what you be, and there doesn't have to be any, stuff in it.
Exactly. And I think when I say the focus is that we're in our heads too much. And that's what creates distraction. Because it's absolutely, when I first, when I sat with someone to teach me relaxation, they were like, pay attention to your muscles, to your body. Your body will always tell you what it needs. And I was like, I know this. I should be paying attention to this. you know, and it's, oh, look, you know, and this may sound crazy, but most of us hold our stress on our shoulders. And this lady who was she was a healer that helped me open up. And she was like, now, this may sound crazy, pay attention to your tongue, because if your shoulders and your neck is tense, your tongue is tense. She goes, now, pay attention to your anus muscle. If your anus muscle is tight, you're holding stress. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I know it sounded funny. I laughed my butt off too. Literally, no, I laughed too. But it was, but it stuck with me, so that, all right, when I'm taking deep breaths, I'm paying attention to really my lower chakras and my higher chakras. It's a chakra check. Okay, and let the muscles relax. And and so that is good. But we get so caught up in our minds of our daily what we have to do, and that's when we just have to just let go of that and see the bigger picture of what we are here for.
Yeah. Yep. Again, that letting go, letting it all go.
And there's nothing wrong
and
with.
You know what's so funny?
What?
There's nothing wrong with what?
There's nothing wrong with it. I've had people say, well, I'm just a mom. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's one of the most beautiful things you could do in life.
Yeah.
You know, think about, we made jokes, but think about everything a mother does. I'm like, you know, being a parent, and am I excluding dads here? You know, being a parent is very beautiful. And as long as you know, you're a guardian. You're bringing in another life force and helping them. Yes, exactly. That's beautiful. And it's like, you know,
I started. Yeah. I think people get caught up when what's difficult things like I'm a mom or I am this or I am that. I just changed my language recently where I stopped calling myself, or well, I'm working on breaking the habit. It's still, you know, in the beginning stages, but stop saying I am a psychic. I am a medium. I am this. No, this is what I do. What I am is so undefinable. You know, and I think even when people say I'm a mom, it's like they feel, or I am anything. They feel there's a feeling of they intuitively understand that they're making themselves so much smaller because they are putting themselves in the box of what they do or what they're doing right now. You know, when you're a mom, you're not going to do that forever. Kids are going to grow up. You're going to go do something else.
Right.
And I think that even when you have more socially acceptable jobs or tasks or things that you're doing, and it's more, you get, you know, more accolades for saying, I am a CEO. Whoa, you are a CEO. So, you know, with that it's harder for people in a lot of ways to break out of that, I am what I do, you know, because they have a lot of, there's a lot of, that's great. Oh, you know, it's like, so that's just me. I'm just starting to work on changing that language a little bit because it's not who I am. It's just what I'm doing right now. Who knows what it's going to be like in a year, 10 years, or what have you.
You know, quite honestly, it's kind of funny, the field that we're in, right? The field that we're in is like people just submit your bio. You feel funny talking about, I'm this, this, and this. And I just want to submit a bio that just says, I am. I am. There you go.
There you go. That's great. This is my bio. I am. You know, this is, but you know, then you can say I am, and then you can say, and this is what I do. You know, this is what I'm about. Speaking of bio, that's actually a really good segue into your bio because, you know, the things that you do, you have this list of really cool things that you do, and I'm not terribly familiar with all of it, like multidimensional healing, ascension guide. I want to talk, I mean, you have these, you carry these titles of the things that you do in your spiritual and your psychic work. Can you go into a little more detail about what you're doing?
Sure.
What is that?
Sure, absolutely. And actually the guides helped me write that. But it's funny how we can kind of feel a little uncomfortable, you know, about that sometimes. But multidimensional healer is, and they help me to see, is that a multidimensional healer goes through the high vibrations. They take their clients to the highest vibration there is. And this is what we should all be doing with healing. But sometimes it happens that we do stay on the vibration or dimension that we're on right now, and we don't go any higher. But I am finding that more and more people, more and more healers are opening up. And again, this isn't a judgment with anyone. It's you're going to find the right healer for you. Just trust that and know. Ask your guides to find the right healer that's on the same vibration as you and higher. And that way, because what they're doing is, okay, healing isn't doing. Let me say that. All healers are supposed to do is, and I found this out, is that during the healing sessions, we're opening this portal. We are opening this portal to allow high vibrational energy. I call it the cosmic heart energy. We are letting these I've watched high vibrational beings come in. They're like light columns. And whether you can call them healing angels, and they come in and they do amazing work that we can't do right now because we don't have that ability, the rays that come out. And just, I think one of the most amazing things I witnessed was actual organ transplant. And it blew my mind away. At the same time, I had to, tell my mind, just observe, be quiet. Don't have any thoughts right now because I don't want to drop out. I'm holding this space. Be quiet. But it was amazing. They were replacing this lady's, I think it was kidney, or there was a couple of right there, 2 organs that were near each other that they replaced. And I could watch. There wasn't an incision to describe the whole process. It was like watching, click and drag kind of thing, I was just blown away and still am when I recall that. But know that we just don't, until we get to the upper vibrations, not saying we can't, but remember, we only have, 2 strands of DNA out of our 12, but they're activating. More of our strands of DNA is being activated now. So this is why we're going to feel a lot of physical changes. We're going to feel and get diagnosed with things from the doctors don't even know. So just be careful, everyone. We are shifting and changing. Doesn't mean that we're getting worse. We're actually we it's been so long since we had 12 strands of activated DNA. Does anyone remember what that's like? Guess what? It puts you right there in that upper vibration. We were the fallen angels that they're talking about. These fallen gods, these whatever every culture talks about. It was us. Before,
of course it was.
Our strands, exactly. Before our 10 strands of DNA was deactivated. By who? By our ancient elders, whatever you want to call them, alien elders, kind of like our parents. All right, time out.
Yeah.
You can't play nice for 12 strands of DNA. Work your way back up now. But guess what? Clap your hands. We are. We've already, Earth is already in the 5th dimension. The next 10 years, we're going from the 5th to 7th dimension. This is fast transformation because we are doing and being it at the same time. We are finally catching on. So multidimensional, that's where I like to heal, and all the vibrations and all the dimensions, and bringing in that type of energy that the person needs. Because when you take someone to the upper vibration, they remember who they are divinely. They remember that illness and disease is an illusion. That it's a choice.
Right.
That we don't have to have this.
Right.
Yeah. And
you're talking about the multi-dimensions, and we talked about the speed at which we are elevating. And I think elevating is probably has to do, that's sort of an illusion as well. I feel like I try to use the word expansion, which is less hierarchy oriented, because that the linear hierarchy, But so we're expanding out, and you said we're moving up to the seventh dimension. And, it reminded me that not too long ago, as this was several months ago, maybe even over the summer, I think there was this, as the election was starting to heat up, and things were people were starting to get, nasty with each other about their, political ideologies. And I had this, it just became so clear to me that, this is because we are shooting up. I'm going to use the hierarchy because that's easy for us to understand.
Yeah.
Because, in that sense, we are shooting up. And I just got this real clear hit, like 50 years. In 50 years, it's going to be completely different. It's going to be paradise on earth.
Absolutely.
It's just,
yes.
And
many of us
it's so intense right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so intense right now because it's like when we awaken on an individual level, spiritually awaken. What happens to people? Their life falls apart. They lose everything. It just utter chaos ensues for a while, a couple of years, and then things start to get put back together, and that's when a person is truly able to elevate and come into their own and expand into their potential. Same thing is happening globally because it's happening with so many individuals as well. And I just feel like, and that's just so that I just wanted to share that as you were talking about that the way you see it, is I love reiterating the same message, but different viewpoints. Like we're looking at it from different vantage points and we see different things. And that's why there are so many of us giving the same message in a different way, because there's so many people on the planet and so many different ways that people are going to be able to hear it and register it.
Exactly. And when we talk about expansion and expansion, that's what I keep hearing expansion, and that's the hot word, expansion.
Yeah,
because people are taking literally ascension like going up. We're in a spiral.
Yeah.
You know when you're going up or when you're going down? And like you said, birth, there's a death associated with that first. There's a death and always a birth. A death, birth, death, birth. Letting go of something old and then going into something new. And so we always honor that, that phase that we've left. Oh, great. But we don't have to hold on to it, and then let's just expand. And we're realizing that we are this unlimited energy source. We're not just bound by our body, by our physicalness.
No.
And so it's the expansion. So feel the energy. You can feel up, you can feel down. When we talk about, so go within. Going within is the downward feeling sometimes. You start to feel yourself go down and spiral. And this is why people fight meditation at first. Because when they start to get calm and relaxed and they start to let go, they feel themselves spiral down. And their mind immediately goes, this is bad. We're not supposed to be feeling this. We're supposed to be going up. We're going the wrong way, blah, 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 And just drops you in and out.
Yep.
But just enjoy the ride. It doesn't matter if it's up, down, sideways. Energy doesn't go from point A to point B in a straight line.
No, nothing does. Nothing in the universe does.
Exactly. That's right.
There's no such
Science
thing.
has been fact better and has proved that. Look at the pictures of space. Find a straight line in space.
I love that. Find a straight line in space. Show me the straight line. Yeah. Hey, listen.
I'm not talking about
that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Unbelievably, we're at 11:38, and I don't know how that happened, but this has been a riveting conversation. Way fun. But before we open up for readings, I wanted to ask you. I want to talk a little bit about your production company. And because what you're doing is you're using those internet airwaves to bring healers and intuitives together with the people who need them and the people who need the message. So talk to me a little bit about that, about what you're doing.
All right. This is something I really never thought I was going to partake in. I have to tell you, when I opened up my healing business 6 years ago, this was not even a thought, or an insight or anything. I had no idea. It was just to what I was doing for my family and friends, let's bring it to the public. And then I had gotten involved with the psychic group, with the psychic network, and I, for like 9 months, I just did the radio. I was a radio show host and putting myself out there. And then about 9 months into it, the network's website person and the producer, who's the same person, she left, and with no notice, and just kind of, I'm gone. And so it you know, it's like, all right, well, somebody's got to step up and do something, right? So my husband is an IT engineer, and he took care of the website, and he taught me, because I used to not be able to handle the energy of sitting near computers, but I had a whole new team come in of guides that help me now I can sit in front of the computer all day now and not be affected because they're helping me and guiding me. I didn't realize this was easing into this, because then last year, all of a sudden, it was, last spring, 2015, last spring, I kept hearing, you need to start your own production company, call it Goldilocks Productions. What? I didn't come up with any of these names for my business. I was inspired from my guides, and I'm like, okay. Well, actually, to name the business was my grandmother and great-grandmother, because Goldilocks is what they called me because of my golden hair. But they were like, it has to be with a Y, Goldilocks, and it's going to be so much more of a meaning in the future, you'll understand. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So I listened, Goldilocks Temple of Healing, too. And then Goldilocks Productions. Okay. Well, I had learned, the hard way. It's just easier I'm going to do it. I don't have to understand it right now. So I started it in August, and then made the transition. I could see things kind of fell apart. And I said, step away from the network. They had me set into place so that when things fell apart, I could just gradually go right on over into Goldilocks Productions and get that going. I had set it up without knowing what I was doing. And as soon as things fell apart with that other network, it was like, now I know why. Okay. So I moved over here and do everything I was doing there. And I had no idea. I was like, I don't know who's going to come. And by the end of the year, I already had like 5 and 6 radio show hosts by the end of last year.
Wow.
And then this year,
how many do you have now?
Grown and grown and grown. 14.
Nice. Oh, that keeps you busy.
And so, yes, it does. It does. But and that's what I like. Is like, it's a lighthouse. All of you coming together is a lighthouse where people come to you. And every one of the radio hosts with Goldilocks Productions are unique, are beautiful. You should listen to each of the shows. If you can't listen to them live, listen to the archive shows. And there's just so much that they're sharing. And it's what we all need. And it's the good stuff. I don't want to say, I mean, we know this, that there's fake or bad people in all fields. All right. So why should the spiritual field be an exception? All right.
Yeah.
But there isn't any competition at all with any of the show hosts. There's enough for everybody. And we even are guests on each other's shows. It's just share the love,
Yeah, right. You have your show. What's your show called?
It's called Spiritual Insight. And that was has been my show for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Back at the Psychic Network, that's what I came up, or again, this is the name of your show, Spiritual Insight. Okay. So that's Tuesday night. It's radio and internet TV, but I will not be on this evening due to, political purposes. Although political elections.
What's the drama?
Yeah, so.
Oh, my God.
Well, so, that kind of thing, just take that. Don't have it tonight. But, I could always, I like to do videos. I have a YouTube channel. To where if I'm so inclined, if the guy says, sit down, do this recording, we've got a message for everyone, I'll sit down and record it. So I know they're going to do that to me. When I don't have a show, they're going to sit me down during the week and say, here it is. Do it now. Okay. So.
Brilliant. Well,
So
hey,
it's like,
should
okay.
we bring on some people? We have 4 people waiting, yes?
Sure. Yes.
So area code 561 is the first in line. Hi, how are you?
Hello, 561. You're on the air live. Can we get your name? Hello.
Hello.
Hi
Hello.
there.
Hi.
Hi, my name is Laura.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hi.
First.
Oh, that's okay. I think we had some weird technical stuff. I started hearing some echoes, but I think we're back on track now. How you doing today, Laura?
Okay. I'm good. How are you?
No, fantastic. So, Tiffany, I'm going to just have you kick us off here. Laura, do you have a question for Tiffany?
I do. I have a question about family dynamic, and I'm wondering what she sees in terms of that changing in the future. If I will have a family of my own.
Oh, okay. Tiffany.
Okay.
We still have you?
Yeah, I'm here. Yes. A family of your own. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to try to zero in here because totally expanded family is, we already all have a family. We're all connected soul to soul, and I know that's, okay. That's not what I'm talking about. You're talking about an actual partnership with someone and having a family. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So it's, I'm kind of hearing an echo too. All right. So you know this, as far as giving birth to any children, I don't see that in the next 2 years, but absolutely finding that someone that you're going to complement each other very well is actually in the works. It's already starting, and by the summer of next year, you two will come together, start dating. I feel like you know each other already, but but you haven't met yet, okay? So it feels like it's friend of a friend, but it's good. You will actually meet to go to every holiday party, go to any type of invitation that you get. It's important because I feel that by January you will start having a conversation and just kind of taking things a little slow. I mean, not so, when we say slow, some people kind of cringe, but it's actually what you both need because there's some trust issues on both sides and some healing going on from past relationships. So it's going to develop. You have to be friends first, and that's going to happen, and it's going to develop and flourish. And then by this summer, you'll be in that beautiful relationship. You'll be in that beautiful place that you want to be. Now, I do feel like there's other kids, and it can be he could have children, but just know that you can always be a very powerful mentor to any child. It doesn't have to come from you and be your own child. You are a very powerful teacher and mentor to anyone younger than you, and really to any age. Okay, so keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but I do see a family aspect. There's going to be that family element that it's a craving. It's almost like it's something that has been nagging at you deep inside for a while.
Mm-hmm. And do you see me getting married or?
Yes, I do absolutely see you getting married. And it's just a lot of things are happening. You're starting to see things that you want to manifest, that it's going to manifest, but you're seeing them too soon. This usually happens. You're very gifted that way. Sometimes you see things 2 years before they happen. because you're going to be with this gentleman who is a bit taller than you, who has dark hair, almost like a brownish, a dark brown, but his hair gets these nice highlights in the sun. Like this blondish, almost like highlights, but he's got dark brown hair. And there's another aspect too of not just finding this person, but I feel like there's a dream place that you have always wanted to live. And I feel you have seen the dream place before the person that's coming into your life, because you're going to start to have dreams, if you haven't already, about what he looks like. Mm-hmm. All right. But the picture that I see, and again, I see sometimes, again, 2-3 years out, is this gentleman with some kids, about 2 or 3 kids around y'all, but they're a little older, so that's why I'm saying I think he's bringing kids in. And the house is it's not really a log cabin, but it's a really nice house on the water. There's a house on the water. So that's the picture, that's the image. It's coming, and it's already started. The whole process has started. The wheel's in motion. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's just that P word, patience.
Oh, that's the hardest part. I just wanted, Laura, I'm just going to jump in here. When you got on the call and you started talking, I tuned into your body. And are you familiar with the chakras?
Yes.
Okay, good. So I don't know explain that. So immediately I felt a zeroing in on your power center, but what I saw was the color blue. And what this told me is some work you need to do is working on communicating from that place of power. And it really kind of came up strongly when you talked about your family a little bit. I think you mentioned your family, or you mentioned something about your family. That came up really strongly. And this partnership that's coming in. I feel like he's connected to you already. I'm with Tiffany there. He's there. He's on the periphery. And I feel like the connection with this man is an opportunity for you to work out some of this stuff with your power, that power area, and like how you project yourself out into the world, because you do have this powerful projecting capability, this powerful manifesting capability, but I feel like it's subdued, or you're kind of keeping it down or holding it down. And this person, this soulmate of yours coming into your life is going to be an opportunity for you to work with that, he'll act like a mirror for you and help you work with that. And that's going to put you up, take you out to the next level in terms of, where'd it go? Sometimes it goes away. Spirit says, nope, not that. It's like, okay. So that's really just the only thing that I felt really strongly for you, and I wanted to chime in and let you know about that. Is there's an opportunity for some good work here, some good internal work here, all centered around communication and communicating around your power, your personal power, and making yourself known and seen in the world and in partnership.
And do you think I should be looking online to meet people, or do you think I'll just meet through people I already know?
Really just let it happen. It's already on its way to you. Yeah, it's already on its way to you. You don't need to worry about it. Don't do a thing. Okay. Let it come to you. All right. Thank you, Laura, so much for calling in.
Thank you so
much. Have a wonderful day.
I appreciate both of your readings.
No problem.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye. Bye. All right, so next caller is from area code 201. Hi, how are you?
Hello.
Hi. What's your name?
My name is Jackie.
Jackie, hi. Do you have a question that Tiffany can answer for you?
Yes, I'm trying to work on my chakras and change, a lot of things that's going on around me, and at the same time, it's just my family members to come into knowledge of chakras and energies. And I'm having a difficult time with it, because it's like while I'm trying to learn, they're distracting me.
Well, immediately, Jackie, all right, you're a star seed. Star seeds have the worst time with chakras and with grounding. They don't understand the physical body, all right? What do I mean by star seed is you have had a lot of lives on other planets, universes, not so much Earth. Have you always felt like you were out of place here? And I know a lot of us do, but you really felt like wow, where am I? I just want to go home wherever home is. All right. Now, star seeds have to ground differently than the usual grounding techniques. Doesn't usually work for them. It may work for, okay, I feel it. Oh, no, it slipped. It didn't take. All right. Star seeds have to have different grounding. And your grounding is, look at the stars. Imagine figure 8, the infinity sign, and that you are connected to the earth and you're connected to space. And that's how you ground, is that, yes, I'm here on earth, I'm looking up at the heavens and the stars, where what I'm familiar with, and just allow that to happen. Just expand. Here's the big word, expand. Even if you have to imagine yourself as a star. Okay, I'm up in the heavens now. I'm a star, and I'm shining brightly, looking down at everyone else. Bam, there's your grounding.
Well, ever since I was a child, I do like to gaze at the sky. And lately I've just been seeing a lot of triangles, or I see things move in the sky. And it is a point of relaxation for me. Because I've just been trying to understand the constellations as well. The thing is, because I live in the city, I think because it's, there's so much light coming from different places, I can't see as clearly as I should, and then I started to have a problem with my vision. So that.
So do you live in? What city do you live in?
I live in New Jersey, in Patterson.
Okay, because that's what I'm seeing is a bunch of tall buildings. But even if that's really big city life, if you can't see the sky, that really throws you off. You have got to get to other places, and I know that there's there are areas in New Jersey and even New York. You can come to Connecticut. There's a lot of open. Every state has its cities. Get out of the city. Get into a place, even if it's just for a weekend. You get a hotel or go to a lodge or something. And I stayed like that. That's in and I'm not talking total country setting, but just to where the sky is clear, where you can look up at the sky and just gaze, because that is, you just connect with that. And how many times you've looked up and maybe even for fun go, okay, beam me up, I'm ready, mothership, come get me. That's totally, because that's where you are. Now, you are here on earth for a reason. You want to experience it. And that even if you're kicking yourself going, really, I'm going to experience this? But know that you have a lot of beautiful... Yeah, I know. But you have a lot of beautiful wisdom and energy to share with each of us. Believe it or not, you have this beautiful star wisdom and this star energy, and you have a very powerful presence. You're a natural healer, just being around someone. You don't have to say a thing. It's just your energy, them being in your energy field. And they're attracted to you. And they might not even understand that attraction, but they just know that they feel good when they're around you. And that can be, sometimes people can invade your space. If that happens, complete strangers coming up telling you the whole life story, and you don't even know who they are. That's just how you feel, all right, to other people. So to help you to understand who you are a bit more. So in order for you to ground, you need to be able to look at an open, clear sky. And like I said, you will be able to just close your eyes, imagine that you're in the country, and that you can see this open sky and that you're the star there, and you'll connect instantly because it's in your memory. It's already there.
I love to garden as well. I used to garden for my mother for hours and hours, and I used to get so many downloads, positive downloads. And I'm looking to return to that, but there's some resistance there.
Well, the thing too is that they say that the Earth and sky mirror each other. So the certain stars, there's certain stars on our land, which usually is equate to nature, which is gardens and trees, and so that's another way that you feel connected. That's why you can do it for hours. Is putting your hands in the soil, and let it take you, because it's the coolness of the soil, the dark soil. Think about that. What does it mirror? It mirrors the cool, dark sky.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
So I hope that has helped.
Right. Well, there's your dog.
Well, we are running. I know.
Well,
we are running out of time. Yes, but Jackie, please, if
Jackie,
you need any more information, just contact myself or contact Ingrid.
Okay.
Great. Thank you so much, Jackie, for calling in.
Thank you so much for taking my call. Appreciate it.
All right. No problem. So that is all the time we have for our show, Tiffany. That went so fast. Thank you so much for coming on. Really quickly, before we go, can you tell people one more time how they can contact you?
Yes, sure. Through my website, it's the best way to contact me. My website is whitesagewoman.com, and that's sage, S-A-G-E, whitesagewoman.com. You can contact me through there. And thank you so much, Ingrid. It's been a real honor being on your show.
Oh, I've loved every second of it. I'm the one that feels honored. Tiffany, thank you so much for joining us today. Such a pleasure to have you. Love hearing about your work. Thank you so much for sharing with us. I want to thank everyone who listened into the show today, and thank you, Jackie and Laura, for calling in with your questions. And I want to thank Tiffany again on a different note for producing this show through her company, Goldilocks Productions. So without her, this show would not be possible. If you want to get in touch with me for any reason, you can book a session with me, inquire about working with me on an ongoing basis, or just leave me some feedback. I would love to hear from you. You can visit my website, ingridhturner.com, ingridhturner.com. So our next show is Tuesday, November 15th, at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll have Monica Carlos on the show, so fascinating topic. She's going to talk to us about the book she wrote, By Tapping into Another Dimension, interacting with interdimensional beings, and the profound messages and creative output that resulted from her channeling experience with that work. So thanks again for joining us. I'm so looking forward to diving in again next week. Have a wonderful day.
When you don't go to Geico.com, car insurance can be confusing. Like Swedish techno confusing.
Bark, bark, meow, meow. Dance with me, purple cow. Bark, bark, meow, meow. Ooh, you lovely cow.
Geico makes it easy. With 24/7 access, all you have to do is go to Geico.com and you could save money on car insurance. It just makes sense. Unlike,
Dance with me, purple cow. I like your moves.
We were born to sob and to howl, to shudder and shriek, to jump up, crack up, scream our lungs out, and be left speechless. This is the good stuff in life, and the all-new Contour from Cox helps us get right to it. Just say what you want, and your TV finds it. Speak, find, feel, and get right to the good stuff. Available to residential customers in select Cox service areas. Advertised features available with Cox Contour 2 digital receiver. Professional installation required. Other conditions apply.